Now, as we have already discussed about the double circulation, now you can see we have already seen there is a circulation between heart and body parts and then back to the heart. So you can see here in this diagram, you can see this is the heart and this is the body parts, and then upper part is the lungs. So you can see here from the heart the blood goes out of the heart into the aorta, you can see here, and this is the oxygenated blood and it is transported to the different body parts where the oxygenated blood changes to deoxygenated. How it gets changed? It supplies oxygen and it gives oxygen to the different body parts and tissues and takes carbon dioxide. The blood which contains carbon dioxide is deoxygenated blood. This deoxygenated blood is sent to the heart again by the vena cava into the right auricle, and there from the right auricle it goes to the right ventricle, and from there it goes to the pulmonary artery where the oxygenated blood is formed back. Okay, so the deoxygenated blood changes to oxygenated blood in the lung where exchange of gases takes place, and there the oxygenated blood comes back to the heart by the pulmonary vein that is supplied by the aorta to the different body parts. So you can see here inside the heart the blood moves twice. This is one and this is second. Okay, so this is the first circulation which I told you between the heart and body parts and back to the heart. This is called as systemic circulation. And then I told you the other circulation between the heart and lungs. You can see there is a circulation between heart and lungs and back to the heart. From heart it goes to the lungs and back. This is called as pulmonary circulation. So this is the second circulation, and both of them together are called as the double circulation. So this is the double circulation. Now one more thing we have to study from here, that I told you that these valves are present between the auricle and ventricle. So what is these valves do? Now as the blood moves from the right auricle to the right ventricle, okay, so the blood is pumped by the help of the right auricle is sending the blood to the right ventricle. Now when the right auricle is contracting or it is in systole, it is sending to right ventricle. Now right ventricle is in diastole, means it is relaxing. Now when the right ventricle goes into systole, diastole will change into systole and this systole will change into diastole, means the right auricle will relax and the right ventricle will contract. Now what will happen? The blood will try to go back. So the valves are there and they stop the backflow of the blood. So the ventricle will send the blood only to the pulmonary artery, not back into the right auricle. Like that, there is a valve between left auricle and left ventricle. Okay, now it also prevents the backflow of the blood. So what is these valves do? Valves prevent backflow of blood. Okay, so these valves prevent the backflow of blood from the ventricle to the auricle. Okay, so wherever valves are present, they all prevent the backflow of blood. They only allow the blood to flow in one direction. Now as you can see from this diagram, you can see here the ventricles have a thick muscles and auricles have the thinner muscles. So ventricles have thick muscles. Okay, and the auricles compared to auricles. Now why it is like that? Because As you have seen, the ventricles have to pump the blood out of the heart. Okay, the auricles has to pump the blood only to the ventricles. So the right auricle will pump the blood to the right ventricle, which is in the heart, and the left auricle will pump the blood to the left ventricle. Now, which is only in these ventricles are in the heart, so auricles have to apply very less pressure, and for that they have thin muscles. So the auricles have thinner muscles, but the ventricles have to pump the blood out of the heart. The right ventricle is pumping the blood to the pulmonary artery, which is going to the lungs. Okay, and the left ventricle is pumping the blood to the aorta, which is going to the different body parts. So they have to maintain high pressure. So if they don't have thicker muscles, the pressure cannot be maintained. So that is why ventricles have thick muscles compared to auricles, because the ventricles supply the blood out of the heart, but the auricles have to pump the blood only within the heart, that is from auricle to the ventricle. I hope this is clear now. Now let us try to discuss some more things. Now, as we know, in our body, the deoxygenated blood, which is on the right side, is completely separated from the oxygenated blood, because there is a septum is there in the heart, which is completely separating the deoxygenated blood from the oxygenated blood. Now, why it is like that? In this blood, you have already studied that fishes have how many chambers in the heart? Fishes have got 2 chambers. Means one auricle, one ventricle, one auricle and one ventricle. And then amphibians and reptiles have got 3 chambers, except crocodiles, which have 4 chambers. And then birds and mammals have got 4 chambers in their heart. Now, why did they have 4 chambers? Because here the oxygenated and deoxygenated blood is completely separated. Now, as we have learned that the upper 3 organisms, reptiles, amphibians and fishes, they are all cold-blooded. They are cold-blooded organisms. And what about birds and mammals? They are warm-blooded. Now, what do you mean by cold-blooded and warm-blooded organisms? Okay, already I have told you in 9th class. Now, cold-blooded organisms are those organisms which cannot maintain their body temperature. Their body temperature depends upon the surrounding. And the warm-blooded organisms are those organisms which can maintain their body temperature, and they maintain their constant body temperature. So body temperature does not depend upon the surrounding, it is maintained by the body of the organism. So now in the cold-blooded organism, they do not maintain their body temperature, so they don't have to do so much of energy. They don't have to utilize so much of energy to maintain their body temperature. And for that, in these organisms, they can afford some intermixing of oxygenated and deoxygenated blood. But in the case of the warm-blooded organism, because they need to maintain their body temperature, and for maintaining the body temperature they require lots of energy. So they require lots of energy to maintain their body temperature. So that is why they need oxygen, so that respiration can take place and they produce lots of energy.